This is Focusing on Manifestation, an 8-week online seminar taught by Shira J., which helps its students to manifest one specific goal by the end of the course. For this course, all you need are a few tools. The Legacy book is a notebook where you will journal your morning thoughts and feelings.
Every morning when you wake up, you're supposed to be writing conscious stream of thought. Whether or not you control your thought, it doesn't matter. You need to write at least 3 pages.
You will write all of your daily intentions in a second notebook, entitled the Intention Book.
What is your intention book? This is something I made up. It's a to-do list. It's really just a to-do list, but you do it every day.
Finally, you will take notes in your vision book.
This is a notebook that you take notes in for anything even remotely related to your vision.
For added energy and manifestation, you may also employ the help of an ENVISION board. Please note, it is imperative that you use all of your tools daily to increase your manifestation rate. In week 2, you will acquire more details and skills on how to use these tools to your benefit to help you manifest your goal.
So what is manifestation? Manifestation means the actualization of or the fulfillment of your vision. What is your vision? Your vision is anything that you want to happen in your life, whether it be conscious or subconscious, that you want to happen or you want to see happen in your life.
Your goal can be anything. Just make sure you actually believe it is possible to manifest in 8 weeks. You don't need to worry about how it will manifest. You just need to know what it is you hope to manifest.
Let's be as clear as possible with what we'd like to have happen and let it happen.
To get updates on the class, as well as any office hours or schedule changes, visit our Facebook group page, Focusing on Manifestation. Or stay on the lookout for the completion of our website, www.synchronicity-studios.com. You may also email Shira at sugarfreemail@rocketmail.com to receive a copy of our syllabus.
You have to be able to believe that it is possible. It cannot materialize, it cannot manifest if you don't believe it.
And you're all set. You don't even need to take vision class first. Just come to class every Friday right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bring your tools and watch your vision manifest.
Jesus. All right, we are here now. If you are not here for vision class and you are watching this on Sugar Free TV, then click the red X. And second of all, it's probably a white X in a red box, or it could be a red X. I don't remember. I don't care. If you are not trying to watch a video about visions and you're wanting some hair or makeup, then go to Pixie Woo and have a nice day. Okay, now if you wanted to figure out, honey, because you know that your life is not going the direction that you want it to go in, then this is the video for you. Okay, this is the video for you. And if you're a vision classer who has clearly been stagnant because of my inability to bring you such amazing videos as hopefully today's video is going to be, then you are in the right place. Stay here for vision class, okay? And also you can check vision class channel. This video will be there. We're gonna talk about today, just so you know, we're gonna talk about what you do with your time. There are 4 T's that we're talking about today. Time, trajectory, tragedy, or triumph. You're gonna talk about 4 things today as to how you are going to manifest your visions. What is a vision? Your vision is anything, be it tangible or intangible, that you hope to have happen in your physical lifespan. Okay, that is a vision. It can be anything. Okay, I want a donut. That's a vision. I'd like to lose 30 pounds. That's a vision, right? I'd like to move into that condo across the street. That's a vision, right? You have a vision, you have something that you want to achieve, right? And everybody always looks at me side-eyed when I talk about things, but I'm about to break something on down to you. When you have a vision, it's not just a feeling or it's not just a thought. It can be, right? But a true vision has depth. A true vision has depth. It's not simple. It is simple, but it has depth is what I'm saying. Your vision is clear to you. Your vision is specific. And your vision is embodied. It's not just felt, it's not just thought, is what I'm trying to say. You don't just think your vision, you don't just feel your vision. It exists. It's an entity. It happened already. So in time, this object, this thing that I want, which is a tangible thing, it doesn't have to be tangible, but in this instance, it is tangible. This tangible thing that I want already exists in the form, way, and shape that I already perceive it to be, right? That's how a vision can manifest. Because it's not really manifesting, it's you aligning with what already is. You see, it already exists. When a vision manifests, it's because in another dimension, in another way, in another shape, in another form, it was meant to exist for you, which is why you want it so bad, which is why you're in alignment with what is already, and you can feel it and you can sense it, and it's so tactile to you because you already know what it is, and therefore it has the ability to manifest for you. Okay, the lower your energetic frequency, the more physical of an object you are, right? So you're not as much of a light being, you're more dense. So everything that happens around you is dense, right? All of the events in your life seem difficult to deal with, or as Tay Queen said the other day, they seem like obstacles, right? Everything seems like a big block of junk, right? Your job is difficult. All of your physical encounters become just that, very physical. Even, your sex life. This is deep. So, okay, let's take it to the opposite end of the spectrum, the opposite polar end of the spectrum, and you are of a light energetic frequency. When you radiate light, what happens is people feel it, right? As I said on a previous office hour, this light energy actually permeates into other people's space. You see, the way that light energy works is there's no such thing as distance. There's no such thing as time. There's nothing that's difficult. This is going back to the question. There's nothing that's difficult, and this is what I mean. If right now I think a thought, what am I doing? And I broke this down on so many videos that you've never seen, but I'm going to break it down right now. What is a thought, right? People sometimes think of a thought as, it's a brain wave, or it's something that happens in the brain, but you can't really define thought without using the word think, right? Or thought. But I can, and I'm going to right now. When I broke it all the way down, like when I really just went inward, I was like, give me the definition of what this really means. Thought, first of all, is intangible, just like energy, just like life, just like breath. So so anything that is intangible is also then synonymous with energy. So light is energy, but so is life, but so is breath, but so is personality. These are all things that have energetic levels. So thought is not just energy. It's not just energy. So we have to take the definition further. Okay? It's also a light form of energy in the sense that it is not dense, right? If it were dense, it'd be a physical object. So it's not. It's extremely light because you can't see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, perceive it with any of the five senses. So light is literally not dense. Okay? So this is a light form of energy, but it's also a light form of energy as in light, like physical light, right? It actually, if used with enough energy, can actually radiate physical light. And I can explain that at another day. We don't need to go into that. So thought is a light form of energy. But wait a minute. So is breath. So is life. All of these things, personality, okay, all these nebulous terminologies, everything is a light form of energy that you can't see, so we have to take it further. When we talked before about you can't taste it, touch it, smell it, or perceive it with any of the five senses, your perception is where is the energetic frequency held. The energetic frequency of a thought is held in the mind. So a thought is a light form of energy perceived through the mind. That is what a thought is, if you want to break it all the way down. There's a further definition. I took it even further in week 2 or 3, and I'm not going to take it there here because I still haven't really wrapped my brain around it. But for all intents and purposes, your thoughts are light forms of energy perceived with the mind. There are light forms of energy perceived with other aspects of you. okay, through your body, right? Your breath is a light form of energy perceived through your body, right? Your personality is a light form of energy perceived. I don't know, this is getting deep. Okay, but the point is that a thought is a light form of energy perceived with the mind. So if it's a light form of energy, then any other light form of energy, spirit, the spirit world, is also on the same wavelength, the same frequency, right? If you turn on a radio station and you're not at the right frequency, you can't pick up the right radio signal. You've got to be within range of the frequency. So if you have a thought, which is a light form of energy, and your thought is on the same frequency as the manifested thing in the physical world, then you've tuned into the right radio station, and therefore that thing becomes available to you. But the more light your thoughts are, and what I mean is, when your thoughts stop becoming thoughts and they just start becoming life, right? Light form of energy perceived through the inner body. When you get to that level of consciousness, we talked about consciousness, when your consciousness has elevated to that level, then your thoughts no longer are the guiding factor. In fact, your inner spirit is the guiding factor. And at that point, everything that ever could happen to you manifests at that level. And so what I mean is that new home that you've been hoping to get because you've got 3 kids that you can't feed, and you've been hoping, and and those 3 kids have no shelter, and you are like the pursuit of happiness up in this piece, right? That house resides in a place of contentment, of peace, of gratitude and relief, right? But you can't manifest that if your inner spirit is dense, right? If your inner spirit only perceives the obstacles, how could you manifest something whose wavelength matches a greater sense of self or a greater sense of happiness? You cannot. So that is why you have to elevate consciousness, and that is why your thoughts have to become lighter, 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 until they become such that you believe that it is possible, and you radiate it outward consciously. Deeper into your visions and you actually manifest them, guess what starts happening? I have to stand up when I preach. See my finger? You begin to materialize other things that you didn't know you wanted in new ways. And once you do that, then you see what it is you really want. Then you can get more specific. It's almost like a funnel, right? So you go from this broad perspective down to this very specific perspective. And I'm gonna tell you something, had I not done YouTube in 2009, when I didn't know what a guru was, when I didn't know what hair and makeup gurus were, when I didn't know what that was, I did hair and makeup so I could be here today to talk to you about something entirely different. Do you understand what I'm saying? It started off as something else. And it was a little disorganized, discombobulated, and disheveled. And I remember the time when a crackhead, yes, baby, when a crackhead came and stole all my makeup and all of my accoutrement for recording. And I didn't know where I'd go from there. Now I've rebuilt my entire makeup collection with the help of viewers, and my production studio has been entirely built. What you're seeing right now, the entirety of everything you're seeing right now is a result of my viewers pitching in to help me acquire this equipment, right? So my point is, when you have a vision, it might not be clear. It might be a whirlwind, and then it becomes funneled, very specific. And then all of the resources that were up here were necessary to help you funnel down here, right? So had I not done those videos, had I not done the makeup and hair, then I wouldn't have the viewership to understand that, okay, this girl needs help and let's help her, and they did, and now look where things have manifested, right? If I was not 2 inches away from the entire production studio, do you think my friend would have came to me and said, I'll invest the rest? My friend wasn't gonna invest like $3,000 or $4,000. He was like, I might float you a little bit, but girl, please. You know what I'm saying? So there is a collective piece of this, and then there's the specific piece, right? There's a collective, meaning the whole, all the parts that make everything work, and then there's the specific piece, which is the one thing that you can control, right? So that's what you do when you have a vision, right? So maybe you want ice cream, but maybe you don't know what flavor, right? And then maybe you don't even really want ice cream. Maybe as you funnel down, you start realizing, I don't even want ice cream at all. I just want ice. but you had to figure that out, right? You're not gonna get things are not gonna manifest for you if they do not serve the bottom of the funnel. Do you understand what I'm saying? Things are not gonna happen for you if they don't serve that piece. Well, sure, I don't know what direction to go in. Honey, if you're moving, you're good. Yeah, if you're moving at all, you're great. If you're conscious of the fact that you are moving, you do not need to know where the movement is going to manifest. You just need to know you're moving. And what starts happening is some pieces start making sense and you grab those pieces and now you're on the next tier of the funnel, right? And then once you're there, you're a little bit more concentrated with your knowledge of what you want to do, right? And then some more things start, you see how I talk like, and then so some more things start manifesting that makes sense to you. Oh, I like this. You take a little bit, grab some of that, and you go to the next echelon. And hey, okay, now we're real specific. And it never stops. Don't get it twisted. Your funnel is never ending. But my point is, you do get more specific about what you want. So you just need to move. Well, let's talk about time. About time because what do you do with your time? What do you do with it? I thought about this so fervently recently. I've been doing, as you all know, I went to ballroom. Now, I didn't know I wanted to do ballroom when I first started. That didn't happen until like 2008. I've been dancing for 17 years. I only knew that ballroom is like, yes. But then I thought it was just ballroom. And then I got into ballroom and I'm like, no, it's ballroom and hip hop. It's still hip hop, right? And it's still choreography. But if I didn't go to ballroom, I wouldn't know what it was to be able to tell you that I want to do all of it, right? Or in what capacity. Maybe in my mind, I thought I was a teacher, but I'm not a teacher. I am, but not for that. That's not what I want to teach. I want to teach this, right? So as you get into stuff, you see what it is and you start taking out the pieces of it that you like, right? So as I was in this ballroom career, I said to myself, what do I spend my time doing? And then I would go to places like the mall, or I would go to places like little strip malls or little retail areas, and I would see people, and I thought to myself, we all work, right? In some capacity, we all do something with our time, whether it be sleeping, whether it be preaching, whether it be editing a video, that's all me, whether it be working at a retail place and asking someone, holding out a tray and asking someone to sample some of Oprah's chai tea, because that's what got me thinking. I was like, Oprah, you're sampling the tea of a woman who don't know you? It made me think for a second. What Oprah's doing with her time is entirely different than what you're doing with your time, person who's handing out the tea. Now let me ask you, person that's handing out the tea, do you like handing out the tea? Sure, you ain't allowed to say that to people. I sure the hell am, because I sure did work at Starbucks, so I will talk to you like I'm gonna talk to you like I know who you are specifically with my fingers, with both of them talking to you in the camera. What I'm trying to say is, when you spend your time, see my hands, when you spend your time doing things that don't funnel you into the bottom of the funnel, honey, that don't move you, that don't progress you, what are you doing with your time? I thought this, what if I spent all of my time handing out Oprah chai tea? What if I spent all of my time doing that? Would it be fair to say that you'd be a connoisseur of handing out Oprah chai tea? Would it be possibly fair to assume that you might be the best expert on this tea eventually because you have such hands-on experience? Or not maybe with the tea, maybe just with how to hand it out, maybe with customer service and interrelations, right? Now, think about it this way. If you were to do that and you didn't like it, you're not moving. You don't like it. It's not fulfilling you. Shut up, phone. If you don't, why does anyone have a landline? Excuse me. If you spend your time doing something that you don't like doing, then you're not moving, you're not progressing. Instead, you're staying in the top tier of the funnel. That's no fun, right? You're not getting anywhere. Now let's pretend that you actually do like handing out tea. Is it then fair to say that if you actually like handing out tea, then your connoisseurship conjugation, your connoisseuring of the tea business is then validated because you've spent time doing it. Then are you picking up pieces of the whirlwind of the tornado? Oh, that's another tea. Ooh, I love it. I love it. See how things come together when you are on point? Oh my God, on point. Okay, if for those of you who didn't see what just happened in my brain, sorry. Okay, so all of the whirlwind of things that are happening inside of your life obviously need to be focused. Is it raining or is it just me? It is. It is raining. I love that. I'm gonna take a nap right after this. I'm gonna preach and get up out of here. In the tornado, you have things flying around in the world when you only need certain things to come to the bottom of the tornado where it's controlled, right? The top of the tornado is obviously out of control. You want to get it controlled. So how do you do that? You find things worth your while to go to the next tier. And you can't do that tier, another T. You cannot, or sorry, sign language, T. You cannot, sorry. You cannot go, excuse me, to the next tier. That's disgusting. I'll never watch her again. That's what people love to say. She let out gas. I hope that you never let out gas again and you explode, okay? Shut up. So if you want to go to the next tier, honey, you have to remind yourself that what you are doing with your time is paramount, right? How do you spend your time thinking? How do you spend your time moving? How do you spend your time absorbing? I know some people who spend their time on Facebook. I know people who spend their time watching television. I know people who spend their time running. I know people who spend their time juicing. I know people who spend their time doing hair. I know people who spend their time trying to look for ways to spend their time. Everybody spends their time. How do you spend your time? Because if you do not spend it consciously, if you don't spend your time consciously, there is no reason, okay, that you will ever progress. Now, you might progress on accident, but in true life of your progression as a soul, right, as an entity, as a force, you will not. You will not. Why? Because you, whoever you are out there, are a force, right? Doesn't Oprah, I love Oprah, so anyways, we will talk about Oprah at all times. When Oprah says you are responsible for the energy you bring into this space or whatever, she uses that mantra sometimes. She said you're responsible for the energy that you bring into the space. If you come into someone's space negative, you will bring their energy down. Even if they're a strong being, if they're isolated with you, either they're gonna bring your energy up or you're gonna bring theirs down, but you're gonna affect each other. Why? Because you're a force. Right? So if you don't spend your time wisely, your ability as a force becomes weakened, right? And if you're weakened as a force, just by the pure virtue of the fact that you already are a force, if you're weakened as a force, then you weaken others. So if you spend your time watching tons of things or people, for example, let's say, and I'm not calling nobody out and I'm not being negative and I'm not being judgmental, but let's just say you spend all of your time watching The Real Housewives of whomever. There's no way that your ability as a force is going to be raised to the next energy level of consciousness. There is no way, because the shows are manufactured to weaken your consciousness. They are. So if you spend your time watching it, I don't care. You are what you eat. You are what you watch. You become, right? Even if you're watching it from a scientific standpoint of evaluation, you should not inundate yourself with anything that is not using your time wisely to elevate you to the next echelon, right? If anything, even if you spend all day watching Oprah, which Oprah elevates consciousness, even if you spend all day watching Oprah, you yourself are not doing anything. So you have to wisely, consciously spend your time, spend your time if you want a vision to manifest. And that's what I did. And I couldn't have done it every day. Now, my consciousness and my energy levels were being pulled away because I wasn't spending time wisely, unfortunately, in ballroom. I wasn't. I wished I were, but I wasn't. I thought I was. I really wasn't. And I came to see that as the time had gone by. So what did I have to do? I got pulled away from my videos, which I enjoy, which I know is part of my, I guess, blessing to others is to manifest these videos. So I said to myself, how do I get back to the videos? Because I've got to. So what did I do? Day by day, 5 minutes a day, I spent my time. It wasn't all the time that I had, but it was 5 minutes that I knew I can contribute to my vision. And all of a sudden, here we go. Here we go. Today, things are manifesting, right? So, time. Let's talk about trajectory. Okay? Think of time as a circle. Here, we do it this way. Think of time as a circle, right? It's a circle, okay? Right now we're here. And at some later point, we're gonna go like this and we're gonna end up here again. It's like a treadmill. It appears linear, doesn't time? Time appears linear? It's not, right? So you've got one point in time, you land there at another point in time, you land. This is why I said to you guys I was here 2 years ago. I was literally here 2 years ago. But what changes about time that I'm learning is your momentum and your experience. But you're still landing at the same, there's no such thing, right? It's all circular. So, right? Einstein would tell you this, except he died. So what happened, he died before he got to break this on down, right? So when you are at a high energetic frequency, this is how fast you manifest. If you, right now, want a new car and your energetic frequency is high, this is how fast you manifest a new car. You just land right back at the circle. That's how fast you went around. That's how quickly your momentum happened. When you're dense energetically, this is how long it takes. It's taking forever. Yes. Because what you need to realize is that when your energetic frequency is high, you manifest at the same rate. It doesn't take long for it to manifest because you really already have it right now. And that's what I mean by that. There is such a thing as having it right now. You're already at the point. You really just travel around this circle constantly to the same point. The point at which you have the thought is the point at which you will manifest that thought later on in your perception. The point at which you have this thought is the point at which you will manifest that object in the physical world. The lighter and the less dense you are, the quicker the travel, right? Space-time continuum. This is why quantum physics is imperative to start studying, people. When you understand that there is a fold, it's like folding a piece of paper. You're here and you want to manifest, there you go. You folded it over and now you're at that same point, but time has overlapped over itself. It's quick, it's fast, right? And the reason it's fast is because the energy is higher, right? Okay, did I explain that in an okay way that was kind of making sense to people? So what is your point? My point is, that thing that you guys want to manifest, it exists right now. That's why I keep saying that. It exists right now at this very moment. The only thing is, how long is it going to take you to get back to this place physically? Your energetic frequency happens before your physical. That's why we always say thoughts become things. That's why we always say the spirit comes before the body. It does, because in your spirit mind, you've already done it. Right? You can see yourself in that new car right now. You don't have to physically have that car. Can you guys feel it? You can feel it right now. You don't need to be in the car. The fact of you actually being in the car is a time delay in terms of physical. It's a physical obstacle. Because if all you did was, have you ever been in a dream and it feels so real? That's because it is real. There's no barrier though. There's no physical barrier there. So you can just do whatever you want, honey. You could fly. You could die and come back to life. Honey, you could metamorph your body if you want. Is that a right word? So what I'm explaining to you guys is that thing that you want, that you're waiting for, it's your perception. Your energetic frequency is low and you're not paying enough attention. And in fact, the doubts that creep in, when you get to a higher energetic frequency, guys, this is really good news. When you start noticing a huge delay, that means your energetic frequency is high. Why? Because you're noticing. Consciousness. It's consciousness. You're noticing there's a delay. Some people are impatient and they take the wrong thing and then they say to themselves, screw it. I mean, I manifested it. No. But the consciousness within you knows that it's something else and you just took a back road instead of taking the main road. So what I'm saying to you is when you guys start knowing what you want, and I'm referring to the person asking this question, when you know exactly what it is you want, sometimes the universe is waiting for you to get specific, sometimes it's not. At a certain level of consciousness, you don't have to be specific because your specificity lies in how much energy you can give to it.
so you don't have to. But sometimes other things require specificity. Why? Because in order for you to get specific, you have to raise consciousness. In order to raise consciousness, you have to have an experience. In order to have an experience, you have to allow. So if right now you're going through something that seems negative, you're just not allowing your experience. Allow it, right? Allow that guy to cheat on you. Allow yourself to move from New York to Ohio. Allow yourself to deal with crazy exes. Allow all that to go on. Allow it. Because the pain that you're using from that is elevating your consciousness. It's jumping you levels. And once you've jumped that level, now your energy level is higher. Now you can notice, right? This is what we call a lesson learned. We can now notice the difference. We can say, I'm not going to do that again. Right. And you take that energetic frequency, and now you notice, wait a minute, I asked for that job 2 years ago. Now what is going on? Exactly. Now you're conscious of it. Now you can actually look around and say, I'm missing something. Or, I need to learn something. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. It's just a matter of staying focused, right? Staying focused and vigilant and knowing that there are messages and things that you are going to receive and you've already been receiving. And then, like I just had the light bulb 15 minutes ago, you'll have light bulbs, right? And after you have a few light bulbs, here's what starts happening. Manifestation.
It's hot. Let's talk about trajectory. What is trajectory? Trajectory is when, give you an example of geometry, you throw a ball, right? You throw a ball and it needs to land somewhere. Boop, boop, that's its trajectory, right? Trajectory. All right, so that is the journey or the lifespan of an entity from inception to completion, right? That's your trajectory. When you have an idea of something you want to manifest, when you have a vision, it has its beginning of its lifespan, right? It's inception or conception. When your vision is thought, that's its little seed. It's being born. What is its trajectory, right? So its trajectory is going to be one of two things, one of the two T's. It's going to be a triumph or it's going to be a tragedy. It's going to be a triumph or a tragedy. It is. Absolutely, without a doubt. It will never be neutral. It will be a triumph or a tragedy. Looking back on your life, when you look back at certain events, can you not deem some of them triumphs, some of them tragedies? It's okay. The neutrality of triumph and tragedy lies between the two of them. What does that mean, Shira? That means somewhere in between the fact that you perceive it as a tragedy and the fact that you perceive it as a triumph is the fact that it's just neutral anyways. It's just how you perceived it that made it a tragedy or a triumph. It's how you perceived it, right? To some people, that will be us black folks, slavery was a tragedy, right? That was a tragedy. But to the slave owners, it was a triumph. Okay, it's a matter of perception. I can speak on that because I'm black. So to some people, slavery was a tragedy. To some, it was a triumph. Shoot, hell, now to some people who are former slave owners, family members of former slave owners, slavery was a tragedy because they're like, get your black butt back to Africa. But amen, to some people, things are different, right? Everybody doesn't perceive one event the same way. Nobody does. We all have our own seat in the auditorium. So even if I am sitting in 3E and you are sitting in seat 3F, you are one seat removed from my perspective. You are still seeing something very different than what I'm seeing, right? Who knows if you blinked in your seat? Who knows if you turned your head during that pivotal moment of the play, right? But we all perceive differently. So is your vision a tragedy or a triumph? What is its trajectory? Is it going to go boop, or is it going to go boop? Which way is it going to go, right? What do you do with your time? That's what's going to help you. Now, how do you make it a tragedy? How do you make it a triumph? You make it a tragedy or a perceived tragedy when you do nothing to facilitate its growth. It is a seed. Anything that you think is a seed, and it is a physical seed. And this is where I said at the very beginning of the video that I would break it down. You see, a vision is nothing but a moment in time that has not happened yet. I said this earlier. Anything that you think is already manifested in some way, shape, or form. It's how you think about it. It's how you perceive it that gives it its finality. Now, sometimes you perceive something in a very tangible way, and then it manifests in a very different way, and you're like, well, wow, I didn't. Sometimes you think, I want a dog. And then you don't really get a dog, but you get a cat that barks. Wait a minute, no, I didn't ask for that. Okay. Maybe you weren't clear, or maybe you didn't know, or maybe you didn't do enough of your experiences. You didn't spend enough time with your experience to understand it, right? I could sit here and I could say, as some of you may or may not know, I am no longer ballroom dancing as a profession right now. I chose to leave it. I chose to leave it, and I chose to leave it because I want to do it on my terms is really the answer. I don't know if I'm gonna get that or not, but that's my real vision. I always had that vision, but at one point when I had that vision, I thought I had to teach in order to manifest that vision. That's what I thought. So that's what I manifested. Now God could have been real slick, like, I mean, I'm not gonna take you through that step, but I had to go through that step for a plethora of reasons. So I had to go through that step, right? What I'm trying to say to you all is, if you have a vision of something and you're very clear about it, it's going to manifest. Whether or not okay, first of all, it always serves you. Let me not say whether or not it serves you. Your vision will manifest no matter what if it's clear. However, how you perceive it in the end is all up to you. So I could have said to myself, you know what, this dancing thing was a tragedy. I loved it so much and I've left it, and I've been depressed about it. Like, not depressed, I've not even been depressed. I've been sad that I've left it. I've been sad, but I recognize it as a chapter, not a tragedy, right? It's not a tragedy, it is a triumph. I got something out of it. I can do this with my body. You can't see what I'm doing here, but I can, I can stand with poise. I stand up differently, right? I have a different level of grace. I have a different level of posture. I have a different level of elegance that I exude. I have a different level of confidence that I exude, all because there's many things that I got out of that particular aspect. It doesn't mean that it's finished, because it's not finished for me. I'm not done. I was not finished when I decided to leave. I was not halfway finished. I don't even know. I wanted to be a champion. So my eye is still on that. My eye is still on that prize in some way, shape, or form, but maybe I didn't understand what kind of champion I wanted to be. Maybe I needed to experience it to help pick out the parts of championship that I want to manifest. Do you understand what I'm saying about this? What I'm saying is, if you're moving, because I had that as a vision and I went after it, even though it looked hard and it was hard and there were things about it that didn't gel with me, even still, I went and I did those things. So I moved. Why? Because all of it, in the end, I had a vision. I right now I have put my name on it, right? I've put my name on the fact that I am a producer. And that means a lot of things. The main thing that it means is it's self-accredited. No one gave me the title except my creator. No one gave me the title. No one told me how to do it. No one gave me directions. I did it on my own, right? And I did it on my own as a result of multiple years of watching videos on YouTube and saying to myself, my videos are not what I want them to be. And having tons of viewers leave, having tons of viewers stay, just having a whirlwind of a bevy of things happen. A baby happened, right? I had a move from my favorite city in the world to here. See my face? To here. This is a step along the way. I could have resisted. I could have not come home, right? I could have stayed in New York, and I could have, no matter what, I would have funneled, right? But you listen to messages. Where am I gonna funnel this at? Where am I gonna go to the next echelon at? Am I gonna do it wisely with the help of the universe, or the aid and the abundance of the universe, or am I going to do this against the grain? How am I gonna do this? It usually works better when you work with your creator and not against. So how do you do that, Shara? How do you do that is you continue to funnel and you start paying attention, like, ooh, that don't feel right. How do I fix it? And that's the way you move. When it doesn't feel right, you fix it, right? So when I was doing the production thing, I didn't know I wanted to be a producer until, as I said to you, my camera was stolen. Things happened, all these computers broke down. Remember all the computer malfunctions I've had? Remember all the software malfunctions that I've had? Just to get to this place today, to this place today. all these years. I could go against the grain, right? I could say, I don't like that my software malfunctioned. I don't like that my Dell's malfunctioned. I love that my Dell malfunctioned. Without it, I wouldn't have a MacBook Pro because of the benevolence of someone's heart, right? Grateful for it. This is how you project positivity into a space that is going to the tragedy, right? When you want it to be a triumph, you, instead of projecting tragic, feelings towards that thing, you project triumphant feelings, right? So I sat here and I was sad, right? I was sad when I left the ballroom. I was so sad. And then I realized I just made my own schedule this week. I'm full of energy. I'm full of life. I don't have to do anything that anyone thinks that I should be doing. Who's telling Oprah who to be, right? Have you guys seen Oprah's life class? You need to see it. You need to go see her master life class or whatever the hell it's called. It's like an hour and a half. Google it, okay? It starts off with her talking about herself at 4 years old. But I need you to see that because she's talking about the trajectory of her life. All the triumphs, all the tragedies, and now where she is, right? The trajectory of her life. How she got there. What did she do with her time, right? So if you better get in on this. I don't care what your vision is. I don't care if it's to have the man of your dreams. I don't care if it's to have a baby. I don't care if it looks like something that could never manifest. What I'm trying to tell you is you don't need someone to tell you what it is, how it is. You have it. You know what it is. You have it right here. You already got it. You already have it. And you may not recognize what it is because, as I said, you haven't maybe learned the skill of adaptability or the skill of maneuverability, perhaps. Sometimes you have to stay at that horrible place for a second. Sometimes you have to stay in the bowels of whatever place that you're in to get to the next place, but you wouldn't know it if you didn't have a vision. Right? If you have a vision, you know the signs and signals. And as I said to you before, when something doesn't feel good, you don't do it. You don't do it. And if it doesn't feel good for a second and you know that it will feel good after sometimes people to receive a desired or achieve a desired result, sometimes you have to go through pain. And you might know that. I had to break up with you-know-who just to get where I am now, but I had to. If I didn't, I would not be here. I had to go through some pain, some tragedy. And you can know that, but so that it can be perceived as a triumph. Maybe the triumph of the tragedy is that you use it as a testimonial, another T. Maybe you use it as a testimonial, right? But however you do it, you have to begin to see how it's moving you forward, how you needed that experience. Why? Because you did. If you didn't need it, you wouldn't have had it, right? You could have had so many other experiences, yet that was the one you had. Well, I'll be damned. Well, you needed it, right? So, production company. I'm gonna finish this up now.
He's gonna make it happen. Make it happen.
My production company. People, no, do you have a company? Well, do you have business cards? So I need a business card to tell you that I'm a company? Well, hold on one second. Well, hold on one second. Well, hold on one second. 1 second. You see how I said that? 1 second. Let me just go in here. I'm just going to get somebody's random business card and let me just write okay, now I have a business card. Am I a company now? Oh, no, you need an LLC to be a company. Okay, that's $150. Let me make sure my name's not taken. Make sure my name's not registered on the trademark. Okay, send my money into the patent office. Okay, I'm good. All right, am I a company now? Well, do you have any employees? Oh, no, hold on. Let me go find somebody to hire. Well, I only got 50 cents. Can I pay you guys each 25 cents for a job? Okay, I have 2 employees. I can put that on my resume. Am I a company now? Do you see why that's a nebulous term? You can be a company or a corporation all by yourself. You don't need somebody's neck to be bobbing and tell you. You don't need somebody to tell you if you're a company or a corporation. You don't need someone to tell you. I am. Speak it. Own it. Have it. It's yours. You don't own something. People like to own things after they buy it, right? Well, everyone else said that I own it now. See, here's a pen, right? If I go to the store and I put money, however the cost of this pen is, and I buy this pen, I own the pen. It's my pen now, right? Okay, what if I lose the pen and you go pick it up? You own the pen now. You see, ownership is a nebulous term. It's a concept. You can own something without actually physically, tangibly having it on you, right? So if I say to myself that I am producer, right? If I say to myself, I'm a producer, I own my own company. What do you have to show for it? Maybe I have nothing to show you for it, but I have it here, right? That's why I said you already have it. You already have it. You don't have it before you speak it into existence. I did not know where sugar-free TV was headed. But one year, y'all, the amount of supplemental income I made was enough for me to be chilling. I was chilling. I was chilling for a minute, right? For a second. But I was chilling. And I thought to myself, that's what I did with my time at that time. What if I only did that with my time? Listening to messages. And then I said to myself, what if I don't make my own schedule? What if every day is filled with something productive towards me? So instead of watching Housewives of whomever, I'm gonna watch myself clean up my own house. There's some of my time moving forward. Why? Because my space is clean, my energy is clean, right? What if I say to myself, I don't know how to be a producer without making a production? Okay, then you ask yourself, what are the required materials to make a production? And I write it down, and then guess what? Indiegogo later, a MacBook donated later, and a couple more contributions later, I have an actual production company. Well, sure, why is it a company? Because I have equipment. Because right now, if somebody asked me to produce something for them, I actually could do that. At one time, this was not tangible or possible, right? There were not actual objects or things that I had in order to manifest that, but now I do. Where I started off with nothing. You don't start off with nothing. You start off without an idea that was not massaged. That's what you start off with, an idea that was not massaged. You have to massage your idea. I don't care if it's 5 minutes a day. People, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what you do. Whatever your vision is, you do what you can do. How many times must I say it? You do what you can do. I want to get my nails did today. I don't know if that means hanging out in front of somebody's nail salon waiting. I don't know if that means begging people for change so that you can actually physically pay for it. I don't know if it means you go in the shop and say, can I rake up some leaves and get my nails did? It could mean anything, but you are manifesting the nails getting done. I don't care if it means that all of a sudden someone walks into your front door and I'm a nail tech and you had no idea that they were a nail tech and they're here to do your nails. I don't know how it's gonna manifest. It doesn't matter the how. As I said to you at the beginning of the video, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Does it happen? Does it give you the feeling, right? And you have to begin, when you have an inception or when you have an idea that you think of, you have to begin from square one to imagine it, to massage it, to spend your time with it, and to never give up on it, ever. I don't care how many people remind you. Didn't you say you want to be a doctor? Didn't you say you was going to do this? Didn't you? You don't see me, I'm doing the Supremes dance. Didn't you say you was gonna do it this way? Didn't you say you was gonna do it that way? I don't need your validation, I don't need your accreditation. All I need to know is when it's finished and it's done, I'm gonna look back like this. Like I said, like I thought, right? Ooh, the storm is coming in, that means it's time for my lovely nap. So in closing, you do not need someone to tell you how, what, okay? Sure, we as entities, as other human beings, as forces, right? I gave you my force right now of encouragement. I gave you my force of truth, right? So maybe you needed that, right? The force of encouragement or the force of truth to take it and run with it and tell yourself, you know what, I'm gonna remind myself that that dream that I want, I do want it. But you might, just remind yourself, you might get to that dream and it's not what you thought it was, but you know what part of it that you needed to take away? You took your tragedy, you turn it into a triumph, and you go to the next level. Right? And you don't give up on it. How do you know that that vision's for you? You don't until you do. You don't until you do. And you might be lost. And I've been lost. There have been days you haven't seen me on here and I haven't cried or nothing, but I have been lost in the sauce. I have been, God, what am I supposed to do now? I don't even know. I'm so confused. But because I spend so much time cultivating not only my visions, but my vision for me as an individual. I have visions of who I want to be. I want to be peaceful. I want to be calm. I want to be rational. I want to be level-headed. There are things that I want to achieve within my own aura that I spend my time on as well, right? So I don't spend my time, if I'm spending my time freaking out, then I start spending my time on the horn calling people to calm me down because I don't want to freak out. I want to manifest a different Shira, right? So that's how I spend my time. So if you took yourself and you spent your time wisely on yourself during the downtime, right, when it's not a storm, when it's not a tragedy, then you can turn your tragedy into a triumph the minute that it becomes a tragedy because you've spent so much time practicing how you are going to manifest your said vision. That the moment that your vision doesn't manifest and you're confused as to why not, you're not confused for very long. Because help is on the way and it comes quickly. Help comes very quickly when you spend most of your time in training, like that T, training. So this is how you train yourself. You begin to train yourself. Each time a tragedy comes your way, that's your training. What does this mean? What do I take from it? Next level, right? And you go on like Mortal Kombat. Okay. Hopefully I have given you your life today. Did we learn? Did we get it? Cheryl, what am I supposed to do now? Whatever you can do. Make an Envision board. Go back and watch Vision class. I don't know. Do something. Spend your time in training so that you can make the trajectory of your life into a triumph with your vision. That hopefully you have a vision. And if you don't have a vision, guess what your first vision is? I need a vision. That's your first vision. And you envision yourself having a vision of something. And that's what you spend your time doing, right? All right, y'all, I'm my own company. I do what I want. I do what I want, all right? And then, obviously, I'm gonna have to get a job, but I don't have to be stressed out about it because I know where my vision is headed. And I know it will be a triumph. Financially, I already know. You know why? Because I don't need to wait for anybody's approval. That lightning was a sign. It wasn't. There was lightning right there when I said that. I just thought that was interesting. Peace and peace.
Join us next week as we discuss in detail how to use your legacy, intention, and vision books as tools to manifest your goals. And join us Tuesday, August 19th at 7:30 p.m. for a live radio discussion with Conversations with the Queen. The link and call-in number are in the description box below.